Hey everybody, I have a follow-up video here to the previous video shot, which was testing AutoWorld's new wireless controller system, where I was experiencing lag across all controllers, paired and repaired to each lane, followed some suggestions from AutoWorld and was still experiencing lag. AutoWorld has since sent out a new terminal track piece to test out. This is the one that came with my set. I've just marked it with a piece of blue painter's tape so I know which is which. And I've installed AutoWorld's replacement terminal track, and much like last time I installed, so here's the new terminal track piece. I've also installed a traditional wired control terminal track piece so I can compare the performance of the wired controller against the wireless controller. So I'm going to set up the camera so y'all can see the track, and we're just going to do a drag style start. I'll be using these two particular set cars, great looking cars by the way, these two set cars. And I will also switch them in the lanes. I'll put, right now we have gold on the wireless lane and red and wired. I'll flip them from lane to lane. And let me take these off. The power supply for the power, the volts going to each lane is relatively the same. We're going to test out the wireless lane here. Okay, hope you guys can see this. So we're showing 16 volt on the wireless AutoWorld wireless controlled lane. We're going to try the wired lane. This one here, I'm using this AFX controller. I tried to use an AutoWorld plunger style controller, but it was just so bad. So I'm using an AFX controller, which is very poorly suited for these cars. I mean, I'm 3/4 of the way into the trigger pull before the car even thinks of moving, which, should be an advantage to the wireless controller, but we'll see. So, fully pressed, throttle on 100%, we're at 15.9 volts, close enough, right? Once again, that should be an advantage to the wireless controller. I've done this testing already, I'll let you all see the results, but I have tried it at different voltage ranges. So this is at 16 relatively. I've done it at 12. I've done it at 14 and a half, 15, 18. Really anything above 18 becomes a bit unwieldy. So I've worked, let's say, from 12 to 18 and a half. I've tested this out like you're about to see. So I'm going to set the camera up, and we're going to do some drag race style starts with two of the set cars, one in the wireless controlled lane and one in the wired controlled lane, both set dialed in at about 16 volts. Stand by. Okay, friends, camera set up. I'm just going to clean the tires real quick. We'll put gold in wireless lane to start. We'll put red in the wired controller lane to start, then we'll flip them, see what we got. Okay. All right, so once again, we have red car in the wired control lane, gold in the AutoWorld wireless control lane, and we're gonna go on, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. Red in the wired lane, gold in the wireless. 1, 2, 3 doesn't seem natural. Let's go 3, 2, 1. So we'll do this once again. Gold in the AutoWorld wireless controlled lane, red in the wired controlled lane. We're running these at 16 volts. 3, 2, 1, go. Wired is well ahead of wireless. Oops. Left brain's not talking to the right brain. Okay. Now let's switch them up. So now we have red in the Auto World wireless control lane, gold in the wired control lane. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Wired well ahead, unfortunately. All right. One more time. 3. Let me state again. Red in the wireless controlled lane, gold in the wired controlled lane. 3, 2, 1, go. So as you can see, it's you know, still there, unfortunately. Track piece still there. You know, one thing I noticed, I didn't discuss in my last video, but an issue I was having in addition to this lag was that, and this is a good thing, okay? I've definitely seen a difference from piece to piece. The lag is the same, but I was having an issue where I would be off throttle, 100%, let's say down the straight, I don't know, maybe perhaps a little more than halfway down the straight. You know, you're hammering it up top, letting go, not being crazy aggressive, and the car just keeps on going under throttle, flies off the track like I didn't even think of lifting off. Intermittently, totally random, it would do this. I noticed this issue has not been happening. In fact, when I had one of my boys using not the new replacement set, I haven't had them come down yet, take any laps, the new replacement terminal track, excuse me. On the old terminal track piece, one of my boys was taking it around, and you know, I'm not commenting, I'm not planting seeds, just let them take laps and I can observe and see if they have anything to say. Car, like, he hammered it. like he hammers it 3/4 of the way, and he was being pretty, you know, pretty conservative on the throttle. He looks up, Dad, I didn't do that. I let go. I said, yeah, that's no problem, buddy. And he experienced this, you know, a few times over, I don't know, 20 laps or so. And this is something I would experience randomly, clearly off the throttle. First, I thought, could it be the spring return in the wireless controller? So I made sure that, you know, that the return was all the way to, I guess you consider off. And I'd even give it assistance when coming up. That wasn't it. I have not experienced that with this replacement terminal track piece. So that's a separate issue. I didn't dive into that in the other videos, but the lag, unfortunately is the same. On a forum on Slot Car Illustrated, a forum member there asked the question: if going under throttle, if you can do a side-by-side, two cars, one wired controlled, one wireless controlled, and if you're in a rolling start, I suppose, okay, if you're performing a rolling start and then you're 100% on the throttle, does the lag still present itself? You know, before I had the camera rolling for this, I tried that, and it's really tough for me to, you know, once again, yeah, geez, I'm so really tough to get that going. We'll try it here. I can't get them side by side. They're such different controllers that, you know, really, I just need to be side by side, right? I mean, the same way that we're at a dead stop. So unfortunately, I can't really illustrate that. I've tried. I'll try again with the camera not rolling and just to get some more practice at it, see if I can do it. But I have not had success to see, does the lag present itself when you're under throttle? I know where the lag is an issue is that while you're modulating your throttle, and if you're racing, okay, and you lift off, right? There's you know, to brake, let's say, before you enter a corner, of course, and you want to get back on throttle. Given that there's lag, this is something that presents an issue. You have to anticipate the lag rather than drive the car. So, which is not something you encounter with even a really kind of a low quality set resistor controller, which was perhaps that's what most people are running, right? Anyway, lag is still there. Tried this replacement piece. Hopefully Audible will keep on poking at this and see what they can come up with in their in their testing environment, and hopefully can get a resolution here. Thanks all.